Yeah, good morning. Hi, Cindy. Hi, David. And what are the three most pressing issues you advise your clients to take care of regarding Corona?
Yeah, so thankfully the pandemic situation in Australia has been under control now, and there has been minimal community transmission. But a lot of organizations are still implementing working from home for their staff members. So I would say the three most pressing points. So at this point in time, first of all is the mental health of the staff members. So we would suggest organizations to put in effective communication, a positive communication to ensure the mental health of their staff members are in check. The second point is the financial strength of the organization and the continuous operation of a business. So we are obviously helping clients from multiple aspects to ensure that their business can keep afloat. The third point I would say is the employment. So we would encourage all our clients to keep the employment of as many staff members as possible, because when everything's back to normal, you would want to keep the good staff, you would want to keep the good workforce to help your business to get back on track.
Thanks, Cindy. That's very interesting, and it kind of mirrors what I see in other countries as well.
Yeah, I would echo what Cindy says. Her experience is in the UK, coronavirus is much more challenging. It's having a greater impact on the workplace. There are tectonic shifts taking place, seismic changes to methods of production. I would say the three most pressing issues for clients and indeed my own organization to deal with is, first of all, the health and safety of the workforce, not just the health and safety of those people who are returning to the workplace, and that is a fluctuating and fluid situation because we're getting conflicting messages from government, but also the health and safety, the mental well-being of people working from home, which we might come onto this, is revolutionizing the challenges that employers face. The second is financial, as Cindy says, understanding the now myriad financial support schemes that the government has created, admirably created, but there's a lot of overlap and considerable confusion about the extent and nature of the schemes. And then the third biggest impact is technology, the investment that has got to be made now in different types of technology to combat all sorts of, adapt to respond to the human resource challenge, the changes to the methods of production that COVID-19 has caused.
Thank you, David. Yeah, in Germany, I must say, as a lawyer, I see actually two main issues, and it kind of mirrors what I heard before from you guys. Is number one, financial difficulties. I think that's the same what our clients say. So my strong advice to every client is have a very close look at your cash flow. Check it on a daily basis to make sure there's no problem. Number two, what I see is delays. Now, especially as a lawyer, you're dealing a lot with the court cases maybe, and if the court is closed, if there's no public hearing, that leads to delays. So this is another issue, and nobody can travel like they used to. Anyway, another question. David, you already mentioned it, support schemes.
Yeah, first of all, there are basically three schemes now. The original coronavirus job retention scheme, which was the furlough scheme. So the government would basically provide up to 80% of workers' wages. Very generous scheme, very expensive. but it assisted employers greatly. That was followed by the JSS, the Job Support Scheme, which was designed by the government to protect stable jobs, what it calls stable jobs. And so it imposed much more responsibility on the employer. In fact, the employer had to bear, or has to bear going forward from November the 1st, at least one third of the cost of employing the worker. The government bears a third, and the worker loses a third of their wage. And then very recently, as a result of local flare-ups of coronavirus in the UK, the government's introduced yet another scheme, the Extended Job Support Scheme, which basically gives more generous support for those businesses that have had to shut regionally or locally in order to combat coronavirus.
Interesting. Cindy, how about you? Any suggestions you give to your clients?
Yes, so I think very similarly, so in Australia here, we've had a range of stimulus packages for COVID-19, both from federal and state levels. So we would suggest, obviously, we have been helping all our clients to make sure they maximize their COVID-19 assistance entitlements. So our advice would be to seek the professional advice and speak to your accountant, speak to your lawyer to make sure that given your circumstances and all the government assistance and stimulus entitlements obtained. Yes, so just a little on the actual subsidies here. So we've had our federal budget very recently for the current financial year. So we've had income tax cut proposals, and we've had extended job subsidy programs. Yes, so there are a range of federal level and state level. So we would strongly encourage clients to come and see us and see professional advisors to ensure that you are in a good shape in terms of the stimulus packages.
Yeah, very interesting. We also had in Germany a VAT cuts reduced from 19 to 16%. This is interesting for private clients. So anyway, anyone who needs to buy something should rather do it this year than next year, because next year is 90% again. So I think that's an interesting change. Also, we suggest our clients strongly to look at their contracts. Maybe some of the contracts they don't need anymore. They can cancel due to COVID-19. So this is also something we strongly advise our clients that we help them to do. The office is always an issue. You know, you have employees coming, very important for us to have staff here in our offices. It's also critical because if staff come to the office, you know, you have to have hygienic standards. If somebody would be sick, you know, maybe they would affect the other people. So my last question is here, who is responsible in your offices to make sure these standards are up to a very high level? Maybe first, David again.
We've got a statutory health and safety officer who has overall responsibility for all aspects of health and safety for the whole firm, over 3 sites, 500 people. Big job, big responsibility, because health and safety in the COVID context is not just about social distancing and transmission of the virus. Health and safety increasingly is about mental welfare. It's about loneliness. It's about Zoom fatigue, technology challenges, ergonomic responsibility, ergonomic office challenges, and so on. And so it's a big job, and we're putting a lot of resource into the whole issue of health and safety management at the moment.
Thank you. Cindy, how about you?
Yes, I very much strongly agree. So we also have a dedicated team who develop their procedures, COVID-safe procedures, which is in accordance with our government health advice. And we can continually update and the procedures to as the situation develops. Yes, and our partners also take a very hands-on role in overseeing the COVID-safe plans.
Yeah, I think that's you have a really looks like you both have an excellent structure in place. And in my office, unfortunately or fortunately, I'm the one responsible for it. So I have to make sure that everyone comply with the rules. But I think that's so important for me. That people are healthy, employees is our key asset. So that I'm happy to take over this responsibility. Anyway, it was very good talking to you. Thank you for that.